What's up? All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is a very special episode, a crossover, if you will, of the Beard Speaks podcast and Creativity Talking. And basically, now today we will be called Creativity Speaks.
Creativity speaks, yeah, when we do stuff. Absolutely.
Awesome. And today, man, we are so excited to bring you something that both of us are very passionate about with music, and man, it's Van Halen, and we're so excited. We're going to break down album by album, every album, kind of give you our rundown of how we feel about each song on each album, and man, yeah, without further ado, I think let's get rocking and rolling.
All right, Van Halen 1. Okay.
All right. So you go ahead first. I know we both got notes, and I know we're like chomping at the bit to just do this
track listing and stuff like that. Okay, so of course, produced by Ted Templeton and engineered by Don Landy, 1978.
Right.
There's two albums from that. If I had to send something out into, whatever, some type of discovery thing that goes out.
Sure.
What are the two, biggest albums in rock and roll?
Right.
For that era would have to be Van Halen 1 and AC/DC Back in Black.
Okay. I can see that. Cool.
That is such, they had such a strong, it's one of the strongest debut albums ever.
Oh my God.
It's ferocious.
When I went back, like I said before, we've heard these songs, we've listened to these albums a million times, right? But for this, I really wanted to soak it all up, and I wanted to listen to it. And listening to Van Halen 1, almost trying to listen to it for like I did for the first time, which is impossible, right? But there's not a bad song on this album.
No.
There's just, it's insane. And I think a lot of bands suffer from that sophomore, and we'll get there, but your first album is usually put together by tunes you've been playing for years, right? And getting out on the scene and just kind of cultivating your sound and adjusting this and that. So that first album is always boom. But there's always
time, 35 minutes and 13 seconds.
Yeah. Just simple.
Secret. Don't put the filler tunes in there.
That's right. I'm with you. Why put filler, right? You don't need it.
Yeah. Half hour of just destruction.
Yeah, because even though it's just a half hour, I love the rewind, man. Love the rewind. Go back and listen to it again.
Right.
So anyway, your thoughts on this one. What do you think?
Okay, so it was one of the first times in my life where I was like, oh, I've got homework. What are you doing? Well, honey, I've got to listen to all of Van Halen's albums from A to Z and by Monday. So, yeah, no, it was, Van Halen 1, Ted Templeton was a pop star in his own right, kind of, people would put Van Halen kind of in that poppy realm, but it wasn't really.
No.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of talk, and I've said this before, there's a lot of talk, all the great bands of that era.
Right.
If you go with Sabbath or whatever. So they were taking the blues and filtering them back. So they took the American blues, brought it to England, filtered it back, and it became hard rock.
Right.
So you had all these bands coming out, and, not necessarily just from America, but Deep Purple and ZZ Top, all these guys. But there's a difference. And, people are always wondering why Van Halen is so different than the other bands. And it's because they weren't rooted in blues. They were rooted in jazz.
Right. Yeah.
Big Band and Boogie Woogie.
Right. That's what they grew up on. Eddie and Alex. Their dad was a jazz player.
And Dave was a huge jazz head. And those guys, Alex Van Halen, listen to his drum beats. They're jazz beats.
Oh, yeah.
He's so underrated as a drummer.
Oh, big. Oh, yeah.
He should be up there right with Neil Peart. It's, he had a couple of stumbles there, but we'll get into that as we discuss the further albums.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, there's if you want to know about the recording process of the Van Halen albums before they went to 5150, because you're not going to hear much after that.
Right.
But up until 1984, Sunset Sound has all the track listings and all the notes, and there's an intensive Van Halen series of the recording and mic placements. And, you know, so if you're a gearhead or you're a guitar freak or,
right,
you know, you're in recording and you want to find out more about that, definitely go see that. But yeah, it starts out with Running with the Devil.
I mean
every kid in 1978, their head was like The Exorcist.
Yep. Yeah.
What is that?
Right. Exactly.
And then Roth screams, and you're like, "What is this?"
I mean, what an opening, right?
He comes on like a freight train.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, there's certain, you know, David Lee, let's clear this off right now. David Lee Roth is not the best vocalist. He even says so himself.
Oh, of course.
But the best frontman, I think, of the 1970s and into the 80s, and the 80s. It's of all time. He's one of the best.
Yeah, of all time, right? I mean, he was a showman.
Yeah, you got your money's worth, and you went and saw Van Halen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah. So, Running with the Devil. I mean, just that first opening sound, you know, because I was 7 years old when this album came out. I was doing the math today, and I was looking at I'm like, I was 7, so I really didn't hear this until probably a couple of years later when I really started listening to, because I grew up in an Italian household where my mom and dad, you know, it's the devil's music, you know, I can't listen to this stuff, right? So it was just Italian music and Elvis. That's what I was kind of consuming. And as I started kind of branching out, and my cousins were like, "Oh, check this out," and I was like, "Holy shit!" I mean, you know, so that sound in the beginning, your little mind is going, "What makes that sound? What is that?"
Yeah. So I'm the youngest of 5, so I already had Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Kiss.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And dude, right up to the 78 when this came out, that was their, you know, Hotter Than Hell, Destroyer, Rock and Roll All Over, you know.
Sure.
And then this came out, and it's like, what? Yeah. Totally different.
Totally different, right?
You know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everyone wanted to be Eddie. Everyone wanted to be Roth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't really get to see any of it. It was mostly hearing it, you know, with records and things like that, but I didn't really get to see it until Friday Night Videos came out. Remember that?
Right.
And then I think they started playing, you know, some of the videos and whatnot. But I don't know.
Pretty Woman, because Pretty Woman was banned because
that was
and like weirdness in there.
You know, yeah, exactly.
By today's standard. But Running with the Devil only got to 84. That was the top of its chart. It was 84.
Yeah.
And,
I didn't look that up.
Then Eruption.
Yeah. That was.
I mean, I'm okay. You're a guitar player. You talk about Eruption.
I stared at the speakers going, how do you make a guitar do this? You know what I mean? Right. I picked up my guitar when I was a kid, and I was just, I didn't even know where to begin, you know, but it is, I mean, to this day, you think about every guitar player from that point on, and yes, there's a lot of killer tracks out there. There's a lot of killer guitar, but Eruption is one of the most recognizable, right? I would say one of the most recognizable guitar solos, one of the most recognizable, you want to call it melody, you know, because of what Eddie did in that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because, you know, as we move on, you know, there's Spanish Fly, there's a lot of, but nothing will ever compare to Eruption. And every guitar player from that point on tried to duplicate what he did. And what a feeling as an artist, right?
Sure. But that had to be a drag, you know.
Yeah.
Now I got to keep on reinventing shit that other people have doing.
But he did.
But even though the tapping was around for a long time, he's the only one who used it correctly.
Exactly.
In context to what was going on, and to make it like appealing to what then.
Yeah. You got flies hanging around.
The now and then. Yeah, it appealed to the people of the now and then. Wow.
But yeah, I mean, a minute and 42 seconds of just pure bliss.
Yeah.
Guitar orgasm.
Right. And then they came out with right after that, You Really Got Me, which is a Kinks cover.
Yeah.
Top of the chart. It charted top at 36.
Yeah.
And dude, they did a great job of most of the covers, I'll say.
Yeah.
There's one cover I can't stand, and I'll talk about that later, but that's what do I know?
I mean,
it's but not liking it is just meaning I don't think it's great.
Right.
Because Van Halen is on a whole different standard.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they come out with something good, it's crappy because they're great.
Exactly. Right.
So when I say that something's bad, it means it's good.
It's good, right? But not, held to your Van Halen standard.
Exactly. My
exactly right.
Van Halen opinion. But and then it followed up with Ain't Talking About Love. Dude,
another killer riff. I still that's like one of my warm-up riffs when I play guitar. Right. Everybody goes to that,
Right. Like back in the day, everyone was like, oh, come on, they wanted to play more Anthraxy Slayer. I'm like, dude,
sure.
What do you want, Sausage Fest, or do you want girls to show up?
Right.
Dude, if girls will show up, the guys will show up.
Right.
Guys are going to show up anyway to your band. So
exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, make something at least you can move to.
Yeah.
Jeez, but and then I'm the One. Dude,
another killer song. Yeah.
It's fierce.
And I think a lot of what David Lee Roth, we keep talking about Eddie, but what a lot of David Lee Roth did with his vocals in that song were really cool. He did a lot of that, fluctuating with his voice. I mean, that was as just a kid, you're going, how the hell does he do that? Yeah.
With background lines of bop bada shooby-wah.
Yeah, shooby-doo. Exactly. Who does that? Right? Exactly.
Right in the middle of, after you just heard Running with the Devil, you got your face smashed in with Eruption.
Right.
You Really Got Me, got your girlfriend dancing, Ain't Talking About Love, got her to stop dancing.
Right.
And then
Shooby-doo up.
Shooby-doo up, baby.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? Yep.
And then, of course, the next day Jamie's crying. So on side 2. Because I broke this down by size of albums.
For us old folks, that's how it works, right? Side 2.
Vinyl, the things that are now hip,
Yeah.
And then Atomic Punk. That always seemed to me like if that's like one song of theirs that was them in another universe as a different band.
Yeah. Because like what Eddie was doing I was like, how does everything he did on this album, every song, he blew your mind. Like, what's this?
Right.
I mean, simple. Now we know
the phrase of his riffs are always good, but their breaks were like a lot of them were off time. That thing coming back again, and it was a whole different thing, because when music stops, everyone goes, "What?
What?" Right?
But "Feel Your Love Tonight," which I guess that's the song about someone who was enjoying themselves in the parking lot behind one of their gigs up until the show, and then they're in the front row,
right?
For all to see in the back, but
in the back, right.
So that's why they wrote that song, apparently. And then, dude, Little Dreamer, what a great
tune.
David Lee Roth and his, being a cowboy out in with his tent somewhere,
Right. And again, another cool example of what David Lee Roth was doing with his vocals in that song too.
Oh, for sure.
Like you said, not the greatest, but what he had,
right.
He really pushed himself, and went to his limits, and in that song you can tell too.
And Eddie always said that when Sammy joined the band, he was able to write in a different key.
Yeah.
Maybe you weren't supposed to.
Maybe.
I don't mean that as a huge slant, but I know what I mean. Like, there's a certain dude. You're Italian.
I know.
When you're making gravy.
Sauce. Let's start that podcast. That one's coming next.
Right. There's a certain, what makes the ingredients.
Yeah.
And David Lee Roth's vocal sound and his warmth with Eddie's tone of guitar.
Don't change it.
The Brown sound, it was just magic,
That was the producer though too, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, Ted Templeton.
with Ted Templeton, right.
But then
Ice Cream Man. I mean, what are we doing here?
Written by John
Brim.
Yeah, John Brim, and that's a cover. And Yeah, most kids, their first song is "Row, Row, Row Your Boat."
Yeah.
Well, you've been in several concerts with my son Seth
Yeah.
and Queensryche and so on,
Yeah.
and his first song that he sang as a baby was "Ice Cream Man" by
Nice.
and both the first concerts for both my boys. Seth was like 3,
Yeah.
TJ was 7.
Nice.
Yeah, David Lee Roth Rib Fest.
There you
3
go.
days after he had knee surgery.
Oh,
Take that, Justin Bieber.
yeah.
And no slight on that what happened to him. I feel
No.
bad.
Right.
And hopefully he recovers, man, because no one likes to see anyone hurt.
Nope.
And then it ends with the opinion that they ingrained into everyone's mind, "On Fire."
I'm on fire.
The track listing, dude, whoever did the track listing
Perfect.
should have won an award.
Yeah. It's almost like it's how I would if it was my band, that's how I would have wrote my set list for my show.
Right. Yeah.
And I think even from listening to that, it's probably how I've crafted set lists moving forward, because I always want to start punch them in the teeth, bring it down, throw in your, softer stuff, and then boom, back up again. And this album does that. It kind of brings you in like that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And it becomes real intimate with Ice Cream Man, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then, and then it just jams you. Another with the Boogie Woogie.
Right, exactly.
But, yeah, so that's Van Halen 1. You got anything to say about the production?
I think that the way the album was put together and the production on the album is, and dare I say, perfect. Because the way, and I think the way they captured his guitar and his guitar tone, something I learned about Eddie Van Halen is, and if you're a guitar player and you've tried to play along with albums and things like that, Eddie was never in perfect tune.
No.
He always showed up, and whatever, he would just tune his guitar by ear, and he would just, be okay, this is where we're at. And he'd record his tracks, right? And then Michael Anthony would just tune up to him real quick, and then boom, they'd play. So I saw a video out there somewhere where somebody actually checked every song, and you can just tell the minute off, the differences, even on every album, every song that had, just the tuning was just off a little bit.
Right.
It was just never perfect A440. It was always off a little bit here and there. So, I mean, I don't know if that makes it any. I mean, the human ear can't hear that, but I think just the sound of that guitar with David Lee Roth's voice and the drums, man. I mean, how can you? Here's brothers that have played together, growing up. They knew. I think that's why they were so tight, just being able to feed off each other like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So it just probably made that recording so much better,
right?
So I don't know. I just think the way it was put together sonically, I can't believe that was out in the 70s.
Oh, for sure.
Right. I mean, you listen to that album now, and you would say that's something that came out, late 80s. I mean, because everyone chased that sound. And they tried to, at least,
Right. And again, if you go back to that thing I mentioned earlier at Sunset Sound,
right?
Basically Eddie used a really small amp.
Yeah.
Overdrive was on 100, and they mic'd it. And then they mic'd it again. And
right.
It's real interesting. All of Alex's drums up until 1984 were done in room 1 at Sunset Sound.
Right.
And it's just the way that they mic'd his kit there is really
phenomenal.
What a great place. I don't know if you've ever been there, man, but
never. No. Cool, huh?
Yeah. Oh, sure. And it's paneling on the walls, 60s, looks like you dropped off in Wisconsin.
That's cool though.
But all right, so what do you got to say about Ted Templeton?
I mean, look, this guy, he perfected their sound all the way through the David Lee Roth years. I mean, he really did. Every album, as we're going to move through here, they're sonically.
And not a lot of bands had the luxury of having the same producer for 6 albums straight.
Right. No.
Dave.
Right. And if we look at the Van Halen catalog and split it up into, Sammy and Dave, right now, that's kind of, we'll talk about that too. To me, 2 different bands.
Right.
But also that's why, we got the producer changed over here and so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's Van Halen 1.
All right, so Van Halen 2. Okay.
The sophomore effort.
Yeah. Here's the one cover song I cannot stand.
Uh-oh.
And it's You're No Good.
Okay.
It doesn't work for me. Never did. It's clumsy in the beginning.
Yeah, I think.
And that's a Clint Ballard Jr. song, by the way.
Yeah. So listening to it, I think my first thought is, why did they open the album with this?
Right.
That's my first thought, because it really is not a punch in the gut.
No, but it's you know what it is? It's one of these. A.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, what's the next song? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I know.
Almost like a tomfoolery, some trickery.
Sure.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they put that there. That to me, but
Linda Ronstadt had just had the #1, so it could be a record company decision.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, at that point, you don't know.
Right. But you.
Yeah.
Then, Dance the Night Away, great song.
Great tune.
Yep. Somebody Get Me a Doctor, that's
another great one. Bottoms Up.
Mm-hmm. Bottoms. Yeah, dude. Somebody Get Me a Doctor. Bottoms Up is one of the best 1-2 punches.
Yeah.
It's like what's it? The Zeppelin.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them that come right after, because I'm old.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't remember.
It's like one of those, okay, that's the way it should be.
Right.
Like Round and Round, and then Lack of Communication.
Exactly. Yeah. They come together. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But and then Out of Love Again.
Not a huge fan. Good song. Not a huge fan of that song.
Here's the thing that, the early Van Halen albums, at least, Eddie always got his guitar solo, and Alex always got a drum song.
Yeah.
And this is his drum song.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean? So, it's got a great break in there. It's, tink, boom.
Yeah.
Do the whole, and then Light Up the Sky was always kind of another one that kind of didn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
In a way, but it does.
Right.
Spanish Fly, it was cool to hear Eddie pick up.
Yeah.
Something different.
Classical, nylon string guitar and do his thing. But again, not like Eruption, because I'm sure everyone was like, where's Eruption on this one, but that was still cool. It was still cool.
And then DOA, the only way I can describe this song is when back in high school, when the hard liquor showed up.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that. Yeah.
We're getting serious now. And then Women in Love would be the obvious follow-up to After a Few Shots,
Right.
And then, of course, To Woo 'Em, At the End of the Night, Beautiful Girls. That's a great tune, man.
That's a great tune. And I think the ones that I know we both don't really like the first song, but that was the hit. Dance the Night Away, as I see, was one of the hits. Mm-hmm. Somebody Get Me a Doctor was a hit. And so was Beautiful Girls. Everything else kind of was, just on the album. It didn't really make it huge, I guess.
Yeah.
Again,
produced by Ted Templeton, engineered by Don Landy, and came out in 1979.
Yeah, 79. And it U.S. Billboard hit number 6.
Nice.
From the notes I have here. Yeah. The Billboard 200 hit number 6. So, Van Halen 2, it's a great album for a follow-up. And I think it's because, Dance the Night Away is one hell of a tune. That's one of those songs that It really it sticks in your memory, right?
Right.
Just like, Zeppelin. Yeah, cool, Zeppelin, but we couldn't even remember the name of the song. So they're
Right,
not
exactly.
right. So Dancing Night Away, I mean, like, that's everyone knows that tune, and Somebody Get Me a Doctor, but Beautiful Girls too. Just a lot of that. And let's not go any further without talking about Michael Anthony's backup vocals.
Dude, yeah,
Right.
originally from Chicago.
Yeah, originally from Chicago. That's right.
Yeah. His mom's an opera singer.
Yep.
Dave also is from Chicago.
Yeah.
Indiana and then elsewhere. But yeah, everyone used to give Michael Anthony a bad rap. And I always thought that was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, dude, all he's playing is dunk, dunk, dunk. I'm like, yeah, you try to play that dunk, dunk, dunk.
Right. Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks, dude.
Right. And then sing like a canary. Because
right.
I mean, when you listen to those songs,
mixed down under Eddie and Alex and Dave.
Yeah, of course.
With his personality, he wasn't going to compete for airspace.
No.
See me live, I'll knock your teeth in.
Right.
That's how he was, and he's to this day he's a fan favorite. I mean, he's great live.
Oh yeah,
everyone.
Who can forget that Jack Daniels bass, right?
Absolutely. And then we go to the best rock and roll band pictures.
I know, I love that. I love that
cover.
Yep.
Women
and that's one of the only times that Eddie had that shark tooth guitar, whatever the hell they call it, where they did the cutaway. You don't have the full picture of the guitar, but
Destroyer, and he cut it.
He cut it, with a chainsaw. He did something. He buzzsawed it or whatever.
Yeah,
and then threw those chains in there. Yeah, like right there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got the tensioners in there, but and then he took the router,
right,
or he took the plate off anyway, left the router.
And here's a guy, and I'm gonna talk. Guitar players out there. We're gonna have like a counseling session right now, real quick, because I fall prey to this too, man. I really do. We spend so much friggin' money on guitars, right? And look, you get the Les Paul. It's out there. I got a Les Paul too. You get our Fenders, and you get these nice guitars, and you go on and buy your nice Charvel and all this stuff. And here's a guy who took a piece of shit guitar. You know what I'm saying? He just took, and he got, like, I think he got a body from Wayne Charvel. And he got the body from Wayne Charvel, slapped all this shit together, painted it himself, just got a soldering gun and just started going to town. And look what this guy created.
Oh, for sure.
And we're spending $3-4 grand on guitars.
Yeah, were you one of those people boiling fucking strings in the 80s?
Yeah, right.
Were you boiling strings? Everyone I knew was boiling their strings, dude.
I will be first to say I've never done that.
Everyone was boiling their strings,
but everybody was boiling their strings. I mean, I don't know, man. But guitar players, we don't need to spend all this money on guitars, man. I know there's some killer stuff out there, but like, you look at Eddie Van Halen. And it's not even just George Lynch did it. His famous Tiger Stripe guitar. He said he paid maybe $200 for the whole thing. Slapped it together, and his buddy paid. What's that?
It's the player.
It's the right. Look, surprise! It's the player, right?
The magic.
So so I mean, so Eddie did some pretty cool stuff, and we're all trying to. I don't know, spend our money. We should be locked up in our garages with buzz saws and putting our own shit together, I think. So
yeah, Jason, my co-host on CreatiVity Talkin, is building guitars.
Nice, man.
He'll soon have his knuckle draggers,
Very cool.
But yeah, he's doing this one. He did really cool finish. It's going to be on this weekend's thing. But
cool.
Yeah, so Women and Children first.
Women and Children first.
And The Cradle Will Rock. Great opener.
Great opener. Here's my notes on this one. Yeah, I love that one. That's how you open an album. Very happy with that.
And dude, I remember my mom's head spinning like this one year. Did you see Junior's grades?
Right.
My mom's let's see, my mom's 89.
Okay.
She's gonna be 90 coming
God
up.
bless. Nice.
And if you ask her opinion on David Lee Roth, she'll go, he can park his shoes under my bed. Mom loves David Lee Roth. Yeah. Nice. On the same day too. So October 10th.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a good day. Yeah. So then Everybody Wants Some.
Yep, great tune.
Also
I mean that
immortalized in a cheesy '80s teen angst movie comedy.
But still, right?
With the dancing,
the burger
with the guitar that
with the guitar with the whammy bar in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Don't know how that works, but it was in the wrong spot. Yep.
Claymation, just
yeah.
You gotta roll with it.
Yep.
And then Fools, that was like the go-to song to play when your roommate was being a jag.
Yeah.
You know.
Good tune, not one of my favorites on the album though.
Right. Kind of, yeah, it's a different energy from the first one for sure. And then Romeo Delight, we give,
that's another one. I'm just this album kind of fell short for me, and it's because of the couple of these songs, but
Tora Tora, that's another, there's a couple of tunes where they almost wanted to turn punk.
Yeah.
Where if they didn't have that wall of rock right there, they probably could have.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then Lost to Control, there's another goofy one and great. It's another great drum song.
Yep.
And then, Dave's got, 2 in a row, Take Your Whiskey Home. What a great song, dude.
Yeah, I was going to say, I dig the song. I mean, I had to listen to it a couple more times. It wasn't one that stuck out to me back then. But again, I was a lot younger, right? And I could appreciate stuff differently now. And I dig that song.
Dude, if you listen, I mean, it's a tune about a dude. Hey, maybe he had a fucking whatever, some bullshit with the old lady, and nobody meant it, whatever. But it's bad juju in the air, and and the dude's just thinking, and it's that walk, dude.
Yeah.
It's in the that just that grinding groove that they have. It is your teeth grinding,
right?
Because you're a fucking dick. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying? Not meaning to be, but you can relate to it.
You can relate to it, right?
Totally. And then Could This Be Magic, dude? One of my favorite Van Halen songs ever.
Yeah.
I love that fucking tune. Oops, sorry.
No, it's okay.
And then
warning.
Yeah, in a simple rhyme. Wait, oh my God, Zuckerberg's here. Everyone, hi!
We have to get banned.
Yeah, Elon, okay. Thanks.
We're good now.
Yeah, Elon said we're okay. Anyway, in a simple rhyme, another great tune. I mean, what I liked mostly about Van Halen is all their stuff was up.
Yeah.
Until they found cocaine and Fair Warning.
I know.
But another great album. So yeah, Women and Children First, again, produced by Ted Templeton.
Yep.
Andy, 1980. Did any Incredible Rock charted, I'm sure, right?
So looking in my notes here. So basically it was go back there. And the Incredible Rock, Everybody Wants Some are the only 2 songs that charted on that album, which is why I think that album didn't do. I mean, I don't want to say it didn't do as well. I mean, it still made on the US Billboard 200. It still made number 6. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, man. But if those 2 songs carried that album, wow.
Right. Because they were still playing the other ones.
Because they were right. Because see, they came out with these back to back to back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 78, 79, 80?
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to back to back, they were still riding. By the time this album came out, people were still listening to Van Halen 1 going, what did I just listen to?
Right.
Still consuming. One? Right.
So they were, they were starting to get lit, and they really didn't need to. I mean, this only has 9 tracks on it.
Right. That's it. Well, if you,
what's the runtime on this? Half hour, maybe?
Yeah. I'd say 8 because Tora Tora is not really a full song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you still say 9 tracks, but whatever.
And Children First runtime. Let's see here. Of course, it brings me to something else. Totally not Van Halen.
No, it's 33 minutes and 35 seconds. I got it right here.
All right, got
Thank God for Wikipedia.
Right. Exactly.
Give it a hand to Wikipedia. All right. So yeah, 33 minutes and 35 seconds, which is 2 minutes more than Van Halen 2. That was 31:36, and Van Halen 1 was 35:34.
Yeah.
So
dude.
You know,
You don't need 20 tracks on a. Why not? Oh my
you
god,
don't, man. And I think one of the things I learned when I was in the studio with Catalano and we were recording our albums, the same thing. We had 8 tunes, and we were struggling to like, wow, we want to write another one. I'm like, well, you know why? Because when we go out and play live at that time, we would play an hour. Where a lot of bands are playing an hour and 15 and a little bit more. And I was like, we're killing them with 8 originals, 2 covers, and they're going, that's it? We want more. You know what I mean?
Right,
and even the sound guys were like, God, man, we want to hear more. Leave them wanting more.
Right.
Why overkill? And I think Van Halen, that's exactly what they did here.
Totally.
Fair warning?
Yeah. Another album produced by Ted Templeton and engineered by Don.
Another one.
This one, 31-minute runtime.
Yes, 31:11.
No, 1981.
Yep.
And okay, so this album is, to me, like you can tell that they totally found cocaine because everyone's starting not to trust people. It's coming out in their lyrics. There's things getting weird. Just
only
in
2
their writing.
songs charted.
So you have but this is the musician's favorite Van Halen album.
It kind of is. Yep.
A lot of musicians love this album over most.
Yeah.
And it's a good album.
It is.
Absolutely. It's a great album. There's a couple things that I don't, but Mean Street.
I dig that tune.
Yeah, dude, Van Halen background vocals.
Very ominous. This is me. Yeah, I love that. It's got a groove that you don't hear in heavy metal or whatever you want to call it.
Jazz.
It's jazz. Right.
Because what he's playing is the clarinet because that's what his dad plays. So he's just doing a clarinet run, dude.
Right.
It's totally that. What I mean? Like, come on, man. Sunday, gravy's cooking,
Yep.
But and then Dirty Movies, one of those songs that
yeah, I agree.
I didn't kind of we'll give it to them. Right on.
Yeah.
Like that was for them.
It was. It was one of we don't care what you think. Yeah, we're playing this one. That's that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, just it wasn't my, and then Sinner's Swing, another, beboppy jazz song.
Right.
And just kind of like okay, so there's a few songs that Van Halen I think put in there that they would just jam to.
Right.
And they're like, dude, we don't want to write another song. Oh, throw that one in there that we do.
Right. That
was probably
one of their jam songs, right?
Yeah, fine. But and then hear about it later. Like they're starting to. Dave always tells you what's going on with the band.
Yeah.
In his lyrics.
What
I mean? He always does. So, and then Unchained, something happened, Unchained was great,
Great tune. That one charted. That's the first song in the album that charted. That's the start of side 2, by the way.
Yeah.
Great.
Up.
Push comes to shove.
That's another one kind of.
Yeah.
So This Is Love. I didn't like that song until I saw the video years later.
That one charted, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was the only one that did, right? Unchained didn't at the time.
And Unchained and So This Is Love. Those are the only 2.
Oh, it did.
Yep.
And then Sunday Afternoon in the Park.
Another instrumental, 2 minutes.
Yeah. And then One Foot Out the Door. So
it's very short.
Right.
Tune.
So this is 81. So there's a lot going on politically. So Dave's probably getting a little feisty.
Yeah.
Because he knows that Eddie and Alex recorded with Kiss.
Right.
And Kiss is trying to get Eddie
to be in their band, right?
Right. So
that's about the time that Ace and Peter were kind of right.
Yeah.
Right around that time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So because it came out in 81, so that would be 80.
80, right.
So that's when so that's when things were going awry in the kitchen.
Yeah. I wonder if those demo tapes.
People, if you don't know, Kiss has a huge influence on Van Halen, the band. Gene Simmons produced
the first
1-0.
Yeah.
Which had 27 songs, and all those songs are basically over 6 albums of Van Halen.
Yeah, and where are they? Who knows? They've used them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they've used them. They've reused. They took one. Like the beginning of Running with the Devil was in.
Right.
What was that? The Leg song from 1984.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Legs.
Drop Dead Legs.
Drop Dead Legs. Not the of to help or
Running with the Devil. Yeah, wrong band. Almost got
Striper. That was last week.
But
yeah. So then they came out with Diver Down.
So Diver Down. Let's get to this one. So this is funny because with my experience with Van Halen, and I know we're going to get into the next, little round here, and we're going to do a lot of disagreeing, which is good because nobody wants to see us both agree with each other. Right. But Diver Down was, I think,
Even if you're wrong.
What's that?
Even if you're wrong, buddy.
No, I know, right? Whatever you say. But with Diver Down, so this one came out in 82. Again, another boom, 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 back to back to back albums, coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts as far as the way they opened this album with a cover?
Here's the thing. Most people our age didn't know it was a cover.
That's very true.
I didn't hear the original till I was 35.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's true.
And I didn't look for it either.
Yeah.
But I am a fan of people doing other people's music. I love cover songs.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, as long as it's done right. And Van Halen usually does them right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my opinion is great opener.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the album where I was coming into my own. I was in like 8th grade going into freshman year.
Yeah.
Ish. This came out. This was the album, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was on a boombox as we're cruising,
right.
The whole 9.
Exactly. Right.
And then Hang 'Em High, great song. Where Have All the Good Times Gone is also a Kinks cover.
It is. Yep. Ray Davies wrote that one. Yep.
Yeah. But a lesser known.
Yes.
To people, even of their generation, it was a lesser known tune. It wasn't You Really Got Me.
Yeah. It was cool. They grabbed a song that they were like, hey, I bet you this will make a killer rock tune.
Yeah, like Kissin' Time by Kiss on Kiss.
Right. Exactly.
No one even knew that was a cover song because they didn't know.
No. Right.
Even better, I Love Rock and Roll. Most people didn't know that was a cover song.
Right. Yeah.
Good on Joan, right?
Yep. Hell yeah.
But so then Cathedral.
Yep.
And what he tell people how he what he did with what he wound up doing with all his solo spots on the albums and live.
Well, live he played everything with his back to the crowd.
Yeah, and he would like meld all the Cathedral would be in with all the other
stuff. Yeah, he would always play everything as one long guitar solo and just kind of put things in between. But I think in the beginning he was doing stuff like that with his back to the crowd, so that I don't know why people didn't see what he was doing or whatever, but everyone figured it out eventually. But yeah, he really had that. He really had that down where he wasn't just playing Eruption and he would throw all that stuff in together. Yeah, which was pretty cool. And he'd almost make up something different every time.
Right. And this is right when they're like huge and about to get massive.
Right.
So like, the US Festival had happened.
Yeah.
And they had to go find Dave in the Amazon, like, and he was like 2 weeks away and drag him back. And so if you look at the album, so you've got one cover, 2 instrumentals, 2 covers, 3 covers.
Yeah.
3rd instrumental, 4th cover, 5th cover. So 5 covers, 3 instrumentals.
Yeah.
Out of what 12? 1, 2,
12 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like we don't want to write anything.
Eddie hated apparently playing covers, and Dave's like, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave wasn't wrong as far as, it may not be artistically pleasing, but
yeah, I mean, I think people knock the whole cover thing, and I mean, I get it. I've seen that happen in the music business where like, oh, we're an original band of this original. Look, man, you can go out there and play all your own original music all you want
for 3 gigs.
Yeah, right. Nobody knows them. No one's gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah, even if you kick ass, and which is great, but you got to throw a cover in here and there to get the crowd kind of interested. Because if they see that you're doing, a song, say you're doing "To Hell with the Devil" by Stryper, and you're like, holy shit, they pulled that off. Great, let's hear the next one. Right. I was always big of like open with a cover and then throw a cover in, towards like the end somewhere. Mm-hmm. So you open with a cover, play a couple of your songs, and then play another cover and then a couple more of your songs. And then, this way you give the crowd a reason to stick around. You're just going to play all original all night. Half the time they're going to go have a cigarette.
Right.
I mean, and I think every professional successful band has played a cover here and there, or if you want to call it a nod to another band.
Bands say they're like, oh dude, we've been playing in the clubs for years. How many gigs is that? 12.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So Van Halen, for example, they had 180 cover songs they could pull out of the repertoire and play at any given time.
Right.
And they played 5 45-minute sets a night.
Right.
4 times a week.
Right. Exactly.
5 times a week.
Yeah.
So they were, plenty of stage time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to figure it out.
Yeah. And that's how they got tight. Yeah. And they got that from their dad being a working musician, just get out there and do it.
Right.
So yeah.
And
so overall on this album, I think what a way to end it with Happy Trails, huh?
Yeah. Well, Secrets, a weird song. Intruder, okay. Pretty Woman, great tune. Dancing in the Street, great tune. Little Guitars and Little Guitars.
Yep.
Both just amazing.
Yep.
And
Big Bad Bill.
Big Bad Bill is one of my favorite.
Good tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Eddie Van Halen's dad plays on it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. The Full Bug. Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan. Yeah. But yeah, and then Happy Trails.
Yeah, and Happy Trails, because of COVID, we weren't allowed to properly bury my brother, so that's what we played at Starbucks for him. So Happy Trails is always a good tune, But
yeah, these even though there's a lot of covers, there's a lot of songs charted on this one.
Dude, it's a great party album.
It is. Where Have All the Good Times Gone charted? Pretty Woman charted. Dancing in the Streets charted. Little Guitars, Big Bad Bill, and Happy Trails. All those songs charted off that album.
Really?
Yep.
Big Bad Bill did?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And this album was, even with all those tunes, was still only 31 minutes and 4 seconds. Wow.
Yeah, but great stuff. Fun.
Great stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Fun.
Just kick them in the face. There's not like long ass Dream Theater tunes, which are still great, but it's not Van Halen, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. 1984.
Again, produced by Ted Templeton and engineered by Don Landy. Came out actually in 1983.
Yeah.
But it says 1984.
It does, yeah. Right.
It came out on like December 7th or something.
This one's described as glam metal, hard rock, heavy metal, synth rock, pop rock. I don't know why pop rock, but whatever.
It's Van Halen.
It's Van Halen. That's how I categorize it.
That's all. Yeah, there is no other category.
Right.
So 1984. So here's what's interesting. So we're getting to the last album of the Van Halen 6-pack. Okay.
Right.
What it's affectionately called.
Yep.
Most of the songs on the first 6 albums were written between 1974 and 1978.
Right.
And that's an interesting thing to remember moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's a different writing I mean, Dave did help arrange.
Yes.
I mean, he was very smart that way.
Right.
Sammy wasn't an arranger. He would show up
Right.
And
Lyrics.
whatever you want to say about Sammy Hagar, I like him personally.
Yeah.
But when someone says, "Yeah, I did it in one take," I'd be like, "Did you do more?"
Right.
No, I didn't need to. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and then David Lee Roth did 300 takes on there. Yeah, but listen to that song.
Yeah, I know.
So there's a give and take, and there was
Sure.
I get it, but there's a time and place, and
Sure, for sure. I agree.
and I like both singers, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1984 is instrumental. Then Jump, which has been around for at this time, it's been around for 5 years, and Dave didn't want it on the album.
Right.
And finally he relented.
Yep.
And yeah, there was a special guest on this song.
Yeah, there was. Wasn't it Michael McDonald?
No.
Who was on this?
Michael McDonald just got credited as a co-writer for I'll Wait.
Oh, that's right. He did. That's right. That's why it was in my head. Go ahead.
Howard Jones. Science.
Yes, that's right. Howard Jones. He played the
and he couldn't get the keyboard thing right in one part in it. And
that's right.
Right. Yeah. And another person has guested on Van Halen albums, and that's Steve Lukather.
Yes.
But yeah, so Jump, they always close with this, and I think it's a weak closer, man.
Yeah, it is, but I think they do it because it's Jump. And it's probably, unfortunately, their biggest hit.
Open with it. Close with Panama, or close with some other.
Yeah.
Even House of Pain or Hot for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher. Yeah.
But I don't know. I always, I didn't like that as their closer, but
yeah, I think they
didn't consult me. Can you believe that?
What's that?
They did not consult me.
No, I know they should have called. They should have called at least such a text.
I know. I must have been on vacation or something.
But it became one of those songs where like the Cubs used it.
Right. Yeah.
I remember going to Guitar Center when I was a kid, and there were signs everywhere. Do not play Jump on the keyboard, because people always went there and tried to play Jump.
Speaking of Guitar Center, so I drove a patient the other day for a procedure, and he happens to work at said company that you just said that I won't repeat.
Right.
And apparently, and this was right outside Highland Park.
Okay.
And that person who had done that thing had bought several items, and they had already gotten receipts and everything like the day. Amazing how fast that works.
Right.
But
yeah,
he's a musician, and he'll be on my podcast here in a little bit. And he's a younger dude. And he went to LA, and his band recorded specifically analog.
Very cool.
And they're a metal band. So
very cool. Can't wait to hear that.
Absolutely. So Panama.
Yes, great tune.
Name, it's apparently written after a stripper, and the 39 Merc, as you drive around, right, is all of the lyrics in.
Right.
Top Jimmy is a song that's been around forever, and that was a local musician in LA.
Yeah.
Top Jimmy and the Rhythm Pigs.
Yep.
And
I hear he cooks.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's the king.
Yep.
And then Drop Dead Legs, dude, one of the best.
Yeah.
Dude. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Another great tune.
Yeah, that's a that's the song that plays in my head when I see my girlfriend walking towards.
There you go.
So and then Hot for Teacher.
Side 2.
Teacher,
right?
Damn it. So yeah, side 2. What a great video.
Yes.
Sit down, Waldo. Gee, Ma, I'm not like the other boys.
Yeah.
And that, I think because it was right at that time, people now don't understand about the Hit Parader and Circus and Cream magazine.
That was our internet back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone had that shit, plastered all over the walls. And, everything was no bozo, no bozo, no bozo. Right. And us being from Chicago, where we had a bozo, it meant something bigger.
It meant something bigger, right? Exactly.
Kind of fine with us, even though LA had a bozo.
Right.
But and my dad was on the LA Bozo show too. And
was he?
Mm-hmm. But so when he shows up with the No Bozo shirt on a library table, and all of us are in high school, we're like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
and
That was,
and Eddie's with the smile.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
wasn't a poser.
No.
He just got out there, played, and he loved playing.
Yeah. And it showed. Right.
Yeah.
That's what the smile was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like he was totally enjoying that energy,
Right.
But and then I'll Wait, co-written by Michael McDonald.
I love that song, dude. I don't know what it is with that, just that opening. You know how like
I wrote a letter and told her these words that meant a lot to me.
Songs that will bring you, like almost like smells, will bring you back to your childhood or whatever. Like there's like you'll hear a song and it'll bring you back to a certain time. This song does that for me.
Yeah, that's a great tune, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Girl Gone Bad.
Yeah, what a great tune.
That's a great tune. House of Pain was a little weaker for me. Still a good song.
House of Pain again from the old days.
Another older tune, yeah.
So here's my theory as we move on to the new band.
Yeah.
Eddie started focusing on other things, which is perfectly fine. He gave us, I don't know how many different patents in amplification and processing.
Oh God, man, right.
This guy was a monster.
Working on the different guitars. Look at the guitars that were created mimicking what he did in his garage, basically. You know what I mean? His workshop.
Ed Rose, hello.
Oh yeah, hello.
Totally ripped that off of Eddie.
Yep.
And then the whole Kramer thing, but he created a whole different, just like Joe Walsh with amplification and microphones, electro voice. Those are all Joe Walsh's trademarks that he just gave away. Because he's a radio guy and he works with microphones. And he was first touring bands were like, hey, we need bigger stuff.
Right.
So he was figuring it out.
Figuring it out, right.
But I think Eddie had a flash of brilliance for a long, like, let's say 4 years.
Yeah.
And it shut off.
Yeah.
And then it became something else. Because he wasn't hungry for that.
Right.
He was hungry now for the instrumentation which is just as important. So that's what that stuff is the equivalent of what his tunes were.
Yeah.
Because
I like the way you put that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, no discount to him. He was just in another place. And yeah, of course, Pat, if you or me in a band, we have a hot flash and we record 80 songs that are monsters, we're going to be like, yeah, okay, we got 10 albums.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Until we're 80, dude. We can
but let me work on this.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, so then they go to Eddie's building 5150.
Right.
And so Mick Jones now is a producer because Ted Templeman went with Dave.
Yes.
Don Landy, though, stayed with Eddie.
Yes.
So now, for both of them, the team split.
Yep.
So, if Landy would have gone with Dave
and Templeton stayed,
the David Lee Roth band would still be around. The Smile Band.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have let Dave be Dave.
Right.
They would have reeled him in.
Yeah.
No, you're not producing this, Dave.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on.
Right.
Here's how it works. Da. We get you, but
yeah, I think at that point he was like, well, look what I just did. Look what I can do. And then he said, I'm going to take the reins from here. And we see where that led. But
he's like, yeah, everyone was calling me a really smart filmmaker. And they're like, wow, look at the colors, man. I just had my sunglasses on.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's how Dave won the MTV Awards. If you have shades off and color correction.
Yep.
But anyway, so now we move on to Sammy.
1986.
And there's a few other people that were kind of almost involved. But they, Patty Smythe.
Right.
She was asked first before Sammy.
Yep.
And apparently there were some other talks for even Billy Squier.
Even Billy Squier was, yep.
Yeah. And that would have been interesting because Billy Squier got a bad rap for wearing the pink tank top.
Yeah. But he's a killer musician. So
yeah, great player, great singer.
Yeah.
I mean, good songwriter. Anyway, so they brought in Sammy, who Ted Templeton wanted to bring in when Van Halen was starting, but Dave at the house where they practiced, and
right. I know how that works. Yeah.
all that kind
of a rehearsal studio. We're sticking with this guy.
Yeah. So, and then Van Halen was huge fans of Montrose. Sammy was in Montrose. And
right.
So it really all makes sense, because guess who produced Montrose? Ted. Guess who produced the Doobie Brothers? Ted. And Ted was with the Doobies for a long time.
Yeah.
So you got to hand it to Ted for sticking with bands.
Yeah. I mean, he had the ear, and spotted the talent.
Yeah. So
51.
My life ended when Dave left the group. I don't know about you, but my life was ended at that time. I was like, oh my God.
See, this is where we're going to split, because I looked at it as, and I'm going to just say it right off the bat, I loved 5150. And I know that's kind of blasphemy in some.
Oh, I love it too.
And some Van Halen.
Dude, I think it's a great album.
It's a great, and I mean, hello, babe. How do you open up that? That's awesome. Yeah, basically, that's Sammy going, I'm here, And to me, the production wasn't as great, and you can tell. Mm-hmm. But I mean, good enough. The first track just slaps you in the face. I looked at it as, yes, is it a totally different sound than the original Van Halen with David Lee Roth? Yes, but not that far off, because Eddie and his guitar playing, and Alec, the drums, and you got Michael, the singing, the background vocals. That's never gonna change, and then I don't think that ever did. It just created, like you said, they were in a new headspace and they became something different. Same.
Yeah, if they would have became like Frankenstrat.
Right.
Dude, band would have been huge.
Bigger. Right, exactly.
But they already had the brand and they had to kind of stick with it, and I get it.
Right.
And Dave's first album was really strong.
It was. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And they started the fight with the names.
Yeah, I know.
Smile, OU812.
OU812. I mean, exactly. But so for 5150, and we got to look at it like this too. I was at that age, so I'm 51 now.
Yeah.
And when 5150 came out, I was, I don't know, 14, 15. I was just right around
16 years old, sleeping out in my 1970 mint condition El Camino.
There you go, buddy. And this album,
pile driver speakers, sleeping out at Rose Records.
Oh God, Rose Records, yeah, man. I remember this album. This is one of the first albums that I remember when it came out, and I went out and got it. Okay, the other ones were either handed to me or given to me, or let my cousins, older cousins, right
as soon as the store opened.
Yeah. So anyway, I love the album, and good enough. I don't know. What do you think?
Then when you're okay, so everyone who mundane life. Oh, Van Halen doesn't have David Lee Roth, and you're working, and then you're at the factory and you hear, and you're like, that's Van Halen. You knew.
Yeah, you knew, right?
Because that was the first song that they started playing on the radio.
That's the first one they said, and again, you were like, how did he do that?
Right.
What's making that sound? You know what I mean?
Right.
So at that age, we're not that educated on, I wasn't that great of a musician at 15 years old.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the hell that was.
Right.
He did it again,
Oh, totally.
But
so then Good Enough, Why Can't This Be Love, Get
great
Up.
Yeah, Get Up, great riff.
Drum tune again.
Yeah.
Dreams.
I know people shit on that song, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a sap, and I'll be the first to admit it. I love a good love song. Yeah, I love a good love song. I'm a melody guy. You know what I mean? And that song does it for me, man. I don't know. And then maybe it was something with the video, watching those.
Good song.
Yeah, the Blue Angels going, and I was just like, and then look, it's a very pop, it's a very pink poppy song, but then Eddie with the solo, right? He starts doing his guitar, and you're like, wow, this guy just took a poppy, you know, and then he added balls to it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I'll agree with that. No,
okay,
no,
all right,
his guitar solos were always good. That was just a weird. It didn't, you know.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's why it's all music is subjective, man. There could be people out there.
One of the best songs in the Sammy Van Halen era, "Summer Nights," dude.
"Summer Nights" is a great tune.
Dude, I mean, yeah.
I'll eventually tell you what my all-time that I think is the best Van Halen song, but we'll get there when we're done. When we're done, we're gonna have to. I got one, but anyway, yeah, "Summer Nights" actually inspired me to write a song, so that was a killer tune.
And then "Best of Both Worlds" side 2.
Yep, side 2. When they did the dance, it got the best. Live Without a Net. Remember when that came out, bud?
Had the weird. What's that thing that the loofah?
Yeah,
the loofah look.
Yeah,
she's got the loofah. And then Love Walks In. I
know it's kind of a slow, but that was a huge hit for them.
Yeah, it has a weird effect on it that I'm not particularly fond of.
Yeah,
but anyway, and then 5150, and so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
9 tunes.
Yeah, so 9 tunes, 7 with Meat, and then you get to 5150, the instrumental, and then the Dick Around song, Inside, which I really like.
I dig that tune.
You know, here's Van Halen. What Van Halen would do was they would give you a little insight into how they got along.
Sure.
There was Van Halen always reminded me kind of like the Three Stooges meet Groucho Marx and the Marx Brothers, and they had fun. That's why I love Joe Walsh. He had fun.
Yep.
They encouraged you to have fun and have fun with us having fun because it's fun.
Because it's fun. Right? Exactly.
You know, no harm, no foul. Come on, man. You know, life is hard enough. Just
I dig the tune. It's a great song. It's a great closer for that album. It's just weird. It's a weird, cool tune. But it's uniquely Van Halen.
Right. And kudos for Sammy for having the balls to grab the mic.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge fan of Sammy Hagar as a solo act.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of him in Van Halen. I just think it should have been named a different band.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
It was a different band.
It's a different band. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But still, I respect what they did.
Yeah.
For
sure.
You know,
it was totally a different band because the vibe and the sound, and I don't know if it's got a lot to do with Ted Templeton leaving, you know, and everything, but regardless, it's a different band. And that's the way I looked at it back then. I'm like, hey, I got a different band.
Right.
It's the same thing with when, like, I'm a huge Dokken fan. And when all that stuff started happening and Lynch Mob, I'm like, well, now I got 2 favorite bands. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but cool. This one, Why Can't This Be Love was the first hit. Dreams charted, Best of Both Worlds charted, and Love Walks In charted. I think Inside should, I mean, well, whatever. Those are my opinions. I think Good Enough, Get Up. I can't believe those didn't chart, but I think that came into that time in the 80s when you would see these, you know, heavy metal bands or whatever the hell you want to call them. I just call them good rock and roll metal bands. You would start to see that the stuff that charted was more of the poppier stuff.
Yeah, and there was way too much processing.
There was.
It was just, you know,
it wasn't raw,
overproduced, and you know, and that's what the difference between the 2 bands, man. You lost the grime.
Yeah, they were not a hardcore 4-piece rock and roll band anymore.
You know, like you know, Van Halen, the original lineup. Okay, so Van Halen with Sammy was when you hop out of the shower, you're ready to go, you're all clean, and you're looking dandy and ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with you.
When you're Van Halen with Dave, it's when you come home from work and you got that line of dirt in your elbow,
and you still go out and party. Yeah.
Yeah. Right,
Right.
you've already been at the party.
Yeah, you're already at the party. Yeah, and then you went to work anyway. Right. Exactly.
Right. So
I agree. I agree. Yep.
but yeah. Some people make a party. I am the party.
That's it. So, oh, you ate one too. No, you ate one too.
By Don Landy.
Yep.
He moved up, and Van Halen is also listed as producers, 1988.
Yes.
So, I have a buddy of mine who has like 4 bands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're one of my favorite musicians. But, and it's not a knock because, the dude loves playing, and
Right,
so just so everyone knows, this is not Pat. So I'm not getting shit like live on the air.
Right. Yeah.
So,
damn you.
like, dude, if you did 30% less, you'd be 200% better.
Yeah.
You don't need to,
I agree.
there's certain, you got to hold, it helps an artist to have someone go, hey, not telling you what to do,
Right.
giving you like, hey, you may want to, there's a purpose for that.
Sure.
And I know I need it.
Yeah, we all do.
What I do, you know what I mean? So I can go out there, so I need someone to like, have a landing on the
just reel you in.
Loud boy. Yeah. Hey, Mars,
But that's a sign of a good musician, and that's a sign when you're in a good band where there's no egos, and you can talk to each other and just, and I've always said it to, my bandmates, even like now with the new band I'm in, I was like, we write stuff together. If I write something or if I play something and it sucks,
tell me.
Just tell me. I mean, I don't take no offense. I would say, that was pretty bad, so I'll try something different.
Right. People would be like, oh, I didn't want to tell you because I'm like, I've been for 35 years, I've been working to tell a better story.
Yeah.
Tell me how to tell the story better.
Exactly.
I don't care if I have to change something, that means it's not working. Okay.
Right. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's
good
it.
to go.
Yep.
But so then we had When It's Love, AFU, Naturally Wired, Cabo Wabo is when the branding started.
Yes.
And the band would never be the same.
Yeah. They did the Kiss route there.
Mm-hmm. Which probably why they wrote Source of Infection.
Yes.
And then Feel So Good. Good tune.
I like that tune. Good tune.
Okay, so now if you start looking at the Sammy years in an overall, you're going to start to see a breakdown of addiction, depression, and other issues within the band.
Right.
Because it starts to become erratic.
Yeah.
But there's some really good stuff.
There's good music that came out of it. I know.
Yeah. And there's some really
not so good stuff.
Not so good stuff on a Van Halen level, which means it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
So anyway, so Feel So Good. Finish What You Started.
Great. I like that tune. Yep.
Great tune, works great in movies.
Yep.
It's a great party song.
I love Eddie's playing in the song. I just love it's very smooth, and I love a song where you can hear the guitar player's fingers moving across. I love that.
Yeah, you can hear the
it's very yes. It's very percussive guitar.
You can feel the callus on the string.
Yeah.
Rap, you can feel the pick.
Yeah.
Pick.
Right.
That's what's one thing we lost.
Yes.
Digital age is everything's perfect, man. Leave the dirt in, man.
Yeah, you got to leave it in.
You want me to fix that? No.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Don't fix a thing.
Yep. Black and Blue. I always dug that riff.
One of my favorite Van Halen Sammy tunes because background vocals, classic Van Halen.
Yeah.
And it's just a good something just great. You had a great week, man. And you're just like kicking back on the back porch, watching the stars. You got a drink in your hand, maybe whatever, and everything's good.
Everything's good. Black and Blue.
You're in a 3-piece. Could take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's a good tune, but it's not one of their best.
Yeah, and this wasn't on cassette or vinyl, but Apolitical Blues.
Yeah, that was streaming only or something, or CD. The CD it was on.
Yeah, CD only, I think.
Yeah.
But then we get to For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
I was gonna say this is your favorite album title.
Produced by Ted Templeton, by the way.
Yes, this is where he came back.
So Ted comes back. Lee Hirschberg, engineer, 1981.
Yep. So 81. What a time for this to come out. Now, to me, again, at my age, this was kind of like where I started to really, I don't know, consume a lot of Van Halen, where I was actually going back to the original Van Halen and listening to everything. And then I don't know why it was around this time, but it was. But because I think Pound Cake, which was an awesome opener. And again, I'm like, wait, because you heard it before you saw the video. Right. And again, I was going, the shit, what is this guy doing now?
Right.
We were using power tools in this shit.
I would say it's the Sammy year equivalent to Running with the Devil.
Yes. Yes. I like that. Yep.
And here's the only thing that's different about it. And it's something that you said to me in front row at Queens, right? Because I was talking about something. I was writing. I needed to figure something out in my book, so I'm figuring it out in my head, and we're having this conversation, and you go, frequency. I'm like, oh my God, frequency. And it opened up, and it's like, it was the one missing piece for the book that I'm writing now.
Nice.
It's just a different frequency.
Right.
But it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Bump, bump, bump.
Right.
And then, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Pound Cake is a great
tune.
Great tune. Judgment Day. That's a Van Halen song.
Good tune, good song.
Spanked.
Wasn't a fan.
Okay, so I'm listening to all the Sammy and Van Halen 3 and the last album.
Yeah.
Day 2. I listened to Van Halen 6-pack day 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's your notes.
Listener fatigue sets in.
Yeah. I'm not, you know what, dude, I'm going to agree with you.
Sammy Hagar, he's good.
Yeah.
You can't listen to 5 albums in a row.
Yeah. This is about the spot where I started going.
Because he's at the, dude, this is not a bad knock. Sammy does what he does, and he does it like no one else. And he's amazing. And no one his age has done it like he's done.
No. Right.
But, dude, stop screaming.
It wasn't, I don't think it was even just, it wasn't even just Sammy. I think it was the song
playing. It
was a songwriting too. I mean, Spanked,
right.
I mean, this song I would skip.
Tweaking or some alcohol issue or whatever is going on.
Whatever's going on, right?
And that's fine, man. No judgment because we're not perfect.
Nope.
And by the way, this red cup has wine in it.
Hey, all right.
Anyway, Run Around, great tune.
I like that tune.
Reminds me very much of Three Stooges, so it reminded me of old Van Halen in a way.
Yeah.
Pleasure Dome was all right.
It was okay.
Out, good tune. Man on a Mission.
It was okay. Not one of my favorites.
The Dream Is Over. Boy, is it.
That one I skip. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
It's almost like Sammy going, hey, Dave, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Dear Penthouse, I never thought it would happen to me.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah.
Right now, of course, a stroke of little brilliance there.
I think I'll say it now. I think right now is, and maybe somebody will shoot me down, one of the best Van Halen songs ever written. I don't know. Again, could it be my sappy side? But when I saw the video,
I think the best Sammy Van Halen song ever written.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I just put it up there. I'm saying Van Halen. Yes, the best Sammy for sure. 100%. When you watch that video.
Right. That's the thing.
That's the key.
The video coming out, it wouldn't be what it is.
100%.
Our generation. For people, it's totally different.
It's totally different.
But that video said something at the time.
Yeah.
Because it didn't show the band.
Right.
And it was just statements like, hey, man, this is bullshit. And I think our generation just, Dave, we just totally were like, yeah, totally, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, the song and then the message on the screen, along with when you're reading that, listening to the song, you're like, wow. So this is the first, I guess, Sammy, or even one of the first songs, regardless of the band, that I listened to that just went, wow, like, emotionally. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So that redeemed this album for me. It kind of did. Other than that, we got the 316 instrumental, was just okay. Not Eruption.
Yeah, a buddy of mine who was on the podcast, Joey Gem, Steve, Billy Sheehan's his bass player.
Yeah.
And what's her name? Akila from Trans-Siberian Orchestra's the same.
Yes.
They just opened up 316 Studios, and that's what he is on the back of every one of his guitars. And now he plays basically for his son Rocco, who passed away.
Okay.
Very young. And so yeah, we're supposed to be doing something with them in the future.
Nice.
And then Top of the World, another good tune.
I love that tune too.
To me, it became too, it became too missionary.
Yeah.
Well,
this
band was like more like, hey, woohoo!
I know.
And then
the only songs that charted and were hits on this album were "Pound Cake," "Right Now," and "Top of the World." That's it. So, what the for
songs that worked really well on this album.
What's that?
The songs that worked
really well. Yeah.
And the background vocals were, because of Templeton, were just spot on.
Right.
So and now we're going to come to my, here's a lot of notes on this one.
So yeah, you're not a fan of Balance.
I am, but I'm not.
Okay.
And here, this is what it is. It's the breakup album.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you can tell
it was over. Shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah, something was going on, man. So Bruce Fairbairn is credited with production.
Yeah.
Sure. So is Ern Musler, and then Mike Plotnikoff is the engineer in 1995. And my top note is getting tired.
Okay.
So the Seventh Seal, we have additional performances by Steve Lukather.
Yep.
Same as Not Enough. He's doing the chants. And then we have Can't Stop Loving You. Good song.
I again, there's the sappy side of me. I think this is the part of my life where I kind of started accepting some of these like lovey-dovey Van Halen tunes, because I was
your daughter born yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know. I don't know what it is, man.
Hey, John, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
No, Seven Seal was a very ominous tune for me. I dug it. Can't Stop Loving You. I don't know. Yeah. Man. I just I dug that tune. Anyway, don't tell me what love can do.
Yeah, don't tell me what love can do. It's a great chunk song, man.
Yeah,
if you like chunk, man,
it's the right.
Yeah, it's really, really good and heavy.
Yep. And Wham Bam Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I heard Eddie wasn't a real fan of the lyrics.
No, and and even the album cover shows the separation of what's happening in the band.
Yes.
The organism splitting in two.
Yeah.
And Fat Money.
I dug Big Fat Money.
That's funny. Here's the note next to it. Yawn.
Yeah.
But another song, just they tend to overprocess Sammy.
Yeah.
Van Halen, and Strung Out was the instrumental.
Yep.
Right. Doing Time. And then was Aftershock. Dude, the cymbal work in Aftershock is amazing. So that's a metallic drum song.
Yep.
But I have to say, almost every track with Sammy is the same drum track. The same fills. The same beat. It's very, and I understand he was going through, divorce, and he had neck problems, surgeries, and everything.
Yeah, he had to wear that brace for a while. So it was almost like they rehashed the same stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to discount because, I think he's one of the best drummers ever.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
But there seemed to be, and I'm not knocking them, but everyone's got, you can't always be.
Oh, everyone's got issues. And no one's perfect.
Totally. And then there's
Yeah. Right.
Not Enough. Take Me Back, Deja Vu, which is nice to hear an acoustic guitar back on an album.
It is. Yep.
You know what I mean? And I was, I was always bummed. Here's the album that I wanted. I wanted a blues album with Eddie Van Halen and Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
With the chick singer.
Oh, there you go.
Even if Coco Taylor, can you imagine Coco Taylor at the time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
I'm bummed that we didn't get a blues album by those guys. Now, Joe Walsh has a blues album supposedly recorded that he hasn't released. But,
hasn't released, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so then track 11 is Feeling. And then if you happen to live in Japan, you got Crossing Over.
Yeah. And there was not much on this because you got Can't Stop Loving You was a hit. Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do was a hit. Amsterdam, and that was it.
Yeah, and I can tell you why the Sammy years lost its luster. It's pretty simple. They seem to have lost their spontaneity.
Yeah.
No matter what, like if you listen to the Van Halen six pack, if you listen to the first few albums with Sammy, it's like they just plugged in and said, let's
go. Yeah.
And there was a magic, a spontaneity, some type of magic to it. And that just seemed to go out the window.
It did. Because like the last two Sammy albums,
right. Kudos to Sammy for not running his mouth.
Yeah.
While dealing with all that at the time. After you're out, it's a different story because you got to fucking,
right. Yeah. But I mean, those last, Balance on Foreign Lawful Carnal Knowledge and Balance, there was only a couple of good songs, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, so Van Halen 3. Van Halen 3 was actually released on my birthday in 1998.
Nice.
March 17th.
Okay.
God, that was a horrible birthday present. Sorry. But yeah.
Right. I'm going to show you guys the picture I sent Pat while listening to Van Halen 3.
I love it. Yeah, that was it. Oh my God. Which is funny because with Van Halen 3, I'm going to be very honest. I think I heard one song when it first came out, and it just turned me on. So I listened to the album total complete for the first time the other day. No lie.
Okay.
No lie.
Second time,
yeah.
First time when it first came out, day one, like every other Van Halen release, day one in the morning, boom, popped it on.
And that was it.
And here's the thing. Okay, so Gary Cherone is actually if you think about it, it was a really good choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's Sammy Light. Yeah. He can sound like Sammy Hagar very easily because that's in his range of his vocal timbre.
Right.
Okay. So, but he moves flamboyantly like Roth.
Right.
So the combination of it
made sense.
Totally. Yeah. And he's a good performer, man.
They should have let him be himself.
Yeah. And exactly. So I think he was too directed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, Daddy wants the big gig.
Right.
Totally understand that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But after all, he's a, professional and he's doing the job.
Right.
But I think he got a raw deal. I don't think the amount of shit slung at him should have been.
Right.
And even though we didn't listen to the album, we were, it just wasn't, if it was another thing.
Right. It was.
If it was Beach Ball Posse, we'd been like, okay, good album.
Yeah.
But not a good Van Halen album.
Not a good Van Halen. I mean, I could actually tell you that I don't think, and I even hate to say it, man, not one song sticks out in my head. And
here's the whole thing, because right before that, what did we get? We got Me Wise Magic and Can't Get This Stuff no more.
Right, yeah. So let's go back to that, right? Because I said we're going to talk about that, right? So before this album came out, we got that Van Halen Volume 1.
Yeah.
And we got Me Wise Magic. We got what was a Twister tune? I forgot the name of that one already. It was in the Twister album. So let me go to the let me go to that Van Halen Volume 1.
Oh, wasn't it called something like Shit.
Well, I'm gonna bring it up right now, and we'll have it.
So the greatest hits, Me Wise Magic, dude. So I'm driving along. I just had my back surgery.
Yep.
A couple months before.
Yep.
And I hear boom, doom, ding, 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 boom, doom, doom, ding. I'm like,
You hear Van Halen?
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, I pulled over and it was like crank. I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Right. I mean, this is where we thought, oh, it's coming back.
Oh yeah, man.
So we got Me Wise Magic, which I thought was great, and I thought was another
Desmond Child wrote that, I believe.
Yeah, and I thought it was another killer, like Van Halen riff, and I thought it was another cool, like David Lee Roth trying something different in his voice. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
Classic.
Yeah, yeah. And then Can't Get This Stuff No More, I thought was a great tune.
Right.
And I thought
Dave started going into this more spoken word thing that he was doing, solo stuff, and it kind of mixed it in. And then Humans Being, that's the one with Sammy Hagar, which I heard stories behind that song where they had the song done. They were doing the song for the movie Twister. And this, I think, put the nail in the coffin for Sammy, because I believe now the way the story went was the song was done. They had called Sammy. Sammy was home in Cabo, and I don't know if he was not feeling well, whatever it was, but he ended up going into the studio with like 102 fever, right? Yeah. He was in
Hawaii. He was Hawaii. Okay, I'm sorry. And then he went into the studio and just like said, okay, screw you guys. I'm coming in. I'll just do this and get it over with. And he just did it and got it over with. But I thought Human Beings was a great song. I really did.
What I remember, he had just gotten married and he was on his honeymoon.
Is that what it was?
It's like, dude, you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like this is
like, are we working this year?
Right. Yeah, something like it was something like that.
Does that and they're like, oh, hey, we just got this offered, and it's like $2 million, and Alex just got a divorce that he's got to pay fucking 12.
Yeah, right. So we got to get this done, kind of thing. And they dragged him out. Yeah.
Right. And he's like, all right, I'll take one for the team. Yada yada.
Right. But, well, so we got those, and those were. Those were good songs, and I thought we were going to be heading in the right direction with some new Van Halen at that point. And then we get Van Halen 3, which again, like I said, I didn't really listen to until recently. And I mean,
New World, Without You, One I Want, From Afar. I really dug Eddie's playing on that one.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. He's got some cool.
There's some cool riffs. There's some cool guitar playing. Dirty Water Dog.
Dirty Wog, nothing. So once, here's my note on this one. It says Hagar Light.
It is, and is that like the longest Van Halen song ever? It's 7 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah, here's what they're gonna do. Like, okay, we got a third singer, which never happens in a huge band,
right?
And we're gonna make every song 5 minutes long, so no one plays it on the radio.
I mean, what is this?
Because fuck you,
right? They didn't play none of this stuff. Without You is the only song that charted, and I think that was the one they released.
Once, literally, they must have gone sound more like Sammy.
Yeah, they had to have.
Yeah, he sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm not knocking his performance at all.
No, of course, right.
Yeah, he did his job.
Yeah.
Fire in the Hole. Okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Josephina, which wound up in a porn, I think, or something.
Yeah, something.
Year to the Day. Eddie's on fire on this song, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that this one's the longest Van Halen song, 8 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah. Master.
Yeah, I don't think they could get more than 742, but yeah, 834. Right. Go on.
Then there's Primary, which
is instrumental.
Ballot or the Bullet, which is weird because Van Halen to do something political is very odd.
That was very odd for me.
That's not even in their thing,
No.
How Many Say I is Eddie's vocal. Okay, I've got one thing to say on this one.
Yeah, go.
How much
I'm gonna drink at this point.
Eddie, how much Pink Floyd were you listening to right before you went into the vocal booth?
Oh man.
Because everything is like you're listening.
Who told him to do that
now? If you could tell me Is there anyone? I mean, come on, dude. Whoa.
I don't know. What a shame.
Right.
That song should never have made anything.
So then one day, Eddie Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli made love and had a child called Wolfgang Van Halen, who 16 years later would save the brand Van Halen and the band Van Halen.
Yeah.
And give his dad the best last years of his life that any father could possibly wish.
Yeah. I think that's something that upset diehard fans because they didn't bring Michael back, But of course, he went off.
Any musician who had a kid were like, "Oh yeah."
Oh my God, yeah, man. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, we tossed them.
But I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't really. You can't look at that and say,
"How can you
cool?" Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, you do it. If you want it, you come up with the song list. You take care of the business end of it. I'll just up and plug in."
Yeah.
Okay.
And look what happened.
Good for him, man. And Wolfgang on his own is doing a really great job, man. And anyone giving him shit, you should be ashamed of yourself. He's a member of Van Halen for 12 years.
Oh, right. I know. I see some of those tweets, and it's like, you got to walk away.
So, I'm an atheist, and even I said, thank God. Yeah. And I got to a different kind of truth.
Yeah.
John Shank's producer, which David Lee Roth had suggested. And
yes.
Martin Cook is the engineer, released in 2012. First song, Tattoo.
Tattoo.
Tune. Yeah, man.
Catchy tune.
Now, when this album came out, you don't understand, people.
Yeah.
We waited for this to happen probably longer than you may be alive. 28 years.
Yeah.
Waited for this to happen. And I had this CD in my CD player in my car for like 5 months straight.
Yeah.
I just didn't listen to the radio. I was so happy to get new Van Halen.
Van Halen. Yeah. Now She's a Woman.
Yeah, which is a 1978 song.
Right. That's why I would say I think that's the one that really brings you back.
Yeah.
To the 70s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
You and Your Blues, they're making fun of all their peers.
Yeah.
They're jazz, and they're like, you and your blues.
Yeah.
What the fuck out. But yeah, after 28 long years, left out in the Arctic, and then overnight, a tattoo showed up.
Yeah.
We were also Chinatown, dude, that song's on fire.
Yeah, I like that tune.
So You and Your Blues, Chinatown, Blood and Fire, and Bullet Head.
Bullet Head, good tune. I like that tune.
I would call their experimental progressive part. They're like, hey, man, let's
just, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds of just boom.
If we're weird, who cares? For Van Halen, they're going to
love Van Halen, right.
And then As Is, and then we return to Boogie Woogie, Van Halen, their Boogie Woogie.
Yep.
Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. Or Boogie Woogie in the Honey Baby Sweetie Doll.
Yep.
Love this tune. Eddie's a fucking savage in the song.
Yeah.
He just rips this apart, man. And it's a great Van Halen jam tune.
Yeah. Right.
Because with Van Halen, they were very sparse. They were like, okay, lyric, da-da-da-da, and
right.
They never had the extra minute Metallica jam.
Right, exactly. They didn't need it. That's why.
Right.
They didn't need
it has like that in it, which is
they say what they need to say in 3 minutes or right there.
Right, exactly. The Trouble with Never, little Ian Hammer influence going on there. There's another one. I think it was You and Your Blues was a little bit Ian Hammer.
Right.
And then Out of Space, good tune, except Eddie should have tuned down because Dave was straining his voice through that.
He was, yeah.
And then we get to the only original tune written for this album.
Yeah, Stay Frosty.
Is Stay Frosty. And Dave, by the way, wrote this.
Yep.
And it's kind of like the sequel to Ice Cream Man.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then Big River is a good tune. And then
Beats Working.
Okay, so here you are. You're Van Halen. You have this monstrous career. This happens. You're Dave. You're this. You're the other members. Eddie passes away. The last song to come out is Beats Working.
Yeah.
And if that's not like a definitive Van Halen statement,
right?
And it's a good send-off tune.
Yeah.
That Beats Working, baby. you know,
yeah.
Because
Such a shame that this is it right here, you know.
Oh, totally, man. Eddie, that guy, unbelievable player, man. And basically, that's what we're at the end of the day. We're celebrating this lineup. We're celebrating this lineup, but really, we're celebrating this guitar played by this guy on this stage.
I mean, leave that picture up for a second, dude. That says it all, man. You know, I mean, what kid didn't see that and go, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. He inspired so many. Okay, you can pull it down.
And here's the other thing too, man, is like at the time, everyone was into the, you had to have dark hair, blue eyes, or blonde hair, blue eyes. And here's this half Dutch, half Japanese dude.
Yeah.
Ripping it apart, showing people how it's done.
Yeah.
Just amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So like, if you're going to run to the devil, just remember, listen to Creativity Talkin, available on vincentkustush.com and
the Beard Speaks podcast.
But we want to tell everyone that, hey, we are both available on Spotify and many other platforms. And we want you to click like and subscribe and share. And Pat, why don't you tell us where to find your stuff?
Yes, definitely. So thank you, first of all, everyone, for coming on this awesome episode. And we are hopefully, I think we're going to start picking some bands and doing this once in a while. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
So I think I smell some Queensryche. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for coming and and checking out the crossover show here. And you could check out all things Beard Speaks podcast at thebeardspeakspodcast.com. Links to all of my social media are there. I'm kicking it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you can check out the show on Spotify, Google. If you could get a podcast on it, there you go. You can get a podcast. You're going to hear my show. That's it.
Absolutely. And hey, if it sounds right, it is. And
that's perfectly it.
Just saying, here's one of my favorite quotes because my girlfriend has this shirt and I love to feel tardy.
I don't feel tardy. Thank you, David. Thank you for everything, David. And for Eddie, I'm going to throw up. I got Eddie with me today. As you see, my little Eddie Pops there. Yeah, there he is.
Right on.
Yeah, just getting we get a little bit of Eddie on top of my amp there. So,
right.
All right, man. Well, this was friggin' awesome.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to sign off here. Pat, love you, brother.
Love you, man.
We'll be back. I think let's do this once a month, man.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think we pick another band.
We can do Queensryche 1, Queensryche 2, whatever you want to do.
Oh, man. Hell yeah. We'll do it.
All us old guys,
That's it.
But anyway,
you got it.
Creativity Talkin, and from Pat at the Beard Speaks.
Love you guys.
Creativity Speaks, and thanks for joining us, and see you at the next crossover. And as always, may Van Halen be with you.